Hey, you guys, welcome to another episode of Light and Love with Casey and Amanda.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. We're super excited to have you here listening, and we sat down and got together today's topic, and we're just excited to see, everything and how this plays out in not only our lives, but in the lives of all of you who are listening. Thank you for being a part of this journey with us. And Casey, how is everything going? How are you, girl?
Girl, I am fine. I'm excited about today's episode. It always makes me like smile when I think about our new episodes. I'm like, yay. Um, and I was gonna try to use my new little microphone, but I'm gonna have to play with that later. But other than that, like I'm fine. I got my coffee, I got my notebook, and I'm ready. How are you?
Girl, I'm excited. When you were saying that, I was smiling. So I'm just excited. As always, like it gives me a certain amount of joy just to sit here and be able to have this conversation with you and with our listeners. I don't know. It's so good and it brings me a lot of joy. So I'm excited. You guys, today we have a really good topic, and this is something that when we spend time about topics, we do, try to wait and a little bit and see, if that is what we want to bring to you guys, because we always want it to have to make an impact where it is needed. And so Casey, she came up with affirmations. And so that's what we're going to discuss with y'all today. Casey, do you want to read the scripture?
Girl, yeah, for sure. Okay, so it says, this is okay, you guys. It's come out of Proverbs 18:21 in the message version. And it says, words kill, words give life. They're either poison or fruit. You choose. That
Mm.
is, that is so good. Like,
It is good. And if I'm going to read out of the New King James Version really quick, just
okay.
because I like it too, but they are both so incredible. This one says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love to talk will eat its fruit. And I mean, wow. Do we
Right?
realize like how powerful our words are when we speak them? Like that's what this scripture does for me. What are your thoughts, Kay?
That's how I feel too. Like I feel like, and I think too, you don't realize like what your words are like producing and what they're putting out there in the atmosphere. But it really does do something. So like if you're speaking good and happiness and love and all these amazing things, that's what I feel like you're going to produce. So for me, this scripture really does like speak volumes, because it's like I want happiness, I want the joy and the peace that surpasses all understanding. So I love this scripture, and I just love this topic. I'm super excited.
I love that. And I love how you said like the peace, that passes understanding, because we can speak peace and we can have peace. It's so important. Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like I have had a mouth on me just about my whole life. And, when I first started walking this thing out, I struggled with my words a lot. And it was something that it was a time period and a season that I was walking through where God really showed me how weighted my words really were. And since then, like, I have definitely changed the way that I talk. Now, there are times that, like, I'm sure, even people who are super close to me, if I've gotten upset, they can attest to the fact that, okay, Amanda, like, I heard that. And facts,
Oh, me
like you
too.
probably really did. I think like most things, most changes, it's more of a journey than it is, okay, and so it's something we continue to improve on. But golly, that season and me seeing, where my words were. And if you think about it, like your words are how you got where you are, to an
Yeah.
extent, what you were speaking out of your mouth. And I'm saying that to me too. I'm not above that, of course. And I don't know, but it's something to strive for, is speaking life over death.
Yes, and I have to agree with you on that too, Amanda. Like I've always had a little bit of a mouth on me. So people like you said that are close to me, they're like, and I think that when you decide to change your life in a certain direction, we think overnight changes. We think it's going to happen overnight. It does not. We're all learning, we're all steady changing and shaping in new ways every day. So I have to agree with you on all that you just said, for sure.
Same with what you were just saying too. And I think that's so cool that with the affirmations we were tied in with this scripture, because it just interests me so much. Like, one of the very first things that God wanted to work on me spiritually wise was my mouth. And I am, so it feels like that sometimes, but it's okay. Let's just walk it out in the right direction. And I'm just thankful, that it is something that, even though it's not always perfect, it is something to strive for. And with the okay, so let me go back for just a second, like how the affirmations tie in. Like, affirmations, let me read that definition just really quickly to you guys. So um it says, like, an affirmation, the act or an instance of affirming a state of being affirmed. And then the second definition is the assertion that something that exists is true. And when we look at the definition of affirmation, it's very straightforward, affirming the truth. And I just love how we have the power to do that. I think it's incredible. And I think it's a good launch to anyone who's new in their journey, and wants to, and not only new in their journey, but you know a little, anyone in their journey, to be
Anyone,
honest.
yeah.
Yeah, because, but just for me, I know my mouth had to change, so I'm thankful for it, but it's still processing. So
Yeah, that's how I feel, and that's how I am. Like, I feel that when we decided to do this topic, I was like, I didn't realize how much, and I've heard it before, and I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't say it like that, but just kind of looking over this scripture and writing some of our notes down, I was like, okay, this, when we say things, it really does have power in it. And
yeah,
so just being able to say today, we're going to do our affirmations today, we're going to speak life over ourselves and over our families, whether it's families, finances, marriages, whatever it is. We're gonna do this affirmation day, you guys, and we're so excited. Like, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
it
Um,
is.
so the first one that I thought about was, there's absolutely no other person I'd rather be than the person God created me to be. Because sometimes we feel like we have to look a certain way, or we have to be someone else who others want or think we should be. So today, you guys, speak that over yourself, that there's absolutely no other person that you rather be than the person God created you to be. Speak
Yeah,
that over yourself today, you guys.
affirm that truth. And I love that, Casey. Like, that one hits different because, like you said, I think that it can be easy to be pressured or influenced, by other people's standards. But the beautiful thing is that there's only one you. All of our listeners, there's only one you. And Dr. Seuss had a saying, and it holds true to this day. And it says, you know, today you are you. That is truer than true. There's no one alive that's youer than you. You are beautiful. You were made just the way that you are for a reason. And you just got to be yourself, and be confident in that. But definitely affirm that truth.
Yes, for sure. And this was actually one of my favorite ones, because I have to agree with you on that. Like, and I've done it, to where sometimes I feel like I have to live up to somebody else's standards. But what did Casey really want to do? How did Casey feel? What did I want to do in that particular time or that moment of my life? That it was the opposite of what others may have wanted me to do. So yes, please today, you guys, affirm that over yourself today. Like, be who God created you to be. It's only, like Amanda said, it's only one you.
That's right. And you were created for purpose, on purpose. And I'm going to go into the second affirmation, you guys, today. It says, I forgive myself and others just as God has forgiven me. I'm not the product of my past. I cleanse myself of my past, and I'm moving forward.
That was so good.
I know, it's so good. Like, you guys, we have that was the importance in the episode too, of you have the grace to move forward, and just like reaffirming that over yourself, because no matter where you are, what you've done, you don't have to be, what your past has said that you are. You can completely, move forward, and be that person that you've always wanted to be, even if it doesn't come into agreement with how others have looked at you for so long.
Yes, and you know what? God has forgiven you. So you have a new beginning.
Yes,
You,
you are
you,
forgiven.
yes, you are forgiving. So forgive yourself of that past hurt or incident, trauma, whatever it is. Forgive yourself because you are forgiven and you have the grace to move forward.
1,000%. And I just want to say this really quick. Sometimes, like, it can be easier for us to forgive others than it is for us to forgive ourselves. I know that that's something I've struggled with. And I have to remind myself, like, if, so and so had done this, I would have already forgiven them by now. Why am I still allowing myself to not forgive myself? So I just wanted to say that.
That's good because I think about too, Amanda, sometimes in life if we have made choices that have not always been the best, that's when that fear creeps in and it paralyzes us to stay in a stagnated state. So forgive yourself so you do have the grace to move forward and make things right. You have the grace to move forward. I love that, Amanda. um, okay, so the third thing that I'm going to say is you're allowed to enforce your boundaries. These can be physical, emotional, mental. You can say no. You don't have to be harsh. You can just simply say no with no explanation, and you can still say it nicely.
Yes. And just if you're, somebody like me, I think that there's so much importance in the statement that you just read, Casey, because I know that something I have struggled with and I'm actively working on is saying no and setting healthy boundaries. And so just reaffirming that truth over yourself, especially if you're navigating through hard things where, you've set these new boundaries, but your boundaries are still being challenged because people are unfamiliar with them. Remind yourself, I'm allowed to enforce boundaries. I'm allowed to enforce my physical, emotional, and mental boundaries. I can say no.
Oh,
I can say
yes.
no with kindness on my mouth, and that's okay. I think that that can, just reminding yourself of that is so important, especially if you're someone like me who has struggled with saying no and even putting up boundaries to begin with.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I love how you stated about the unfamiliar, because sometimes when you have said yes, 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 and you finally are saying no, it can be unfamiliar to others. And then it's like you I'll say for me, I even sometimes feel like it has cost me certain things because I finally like said no, I'm not gonna do that. And I'm like, man, but I know that those boundaries needed to be put in place. And
Ooh,
I felt better. I i i could say it nicely and I could just move forward with it, because I'm like, okay, I still said no and I still said it nicely. So I do like the way you explained that, Amanda. That was really good.
thank you. I want to say this before we move on, because it goes along with boundaries, and this was something that, was sent to Case or came across Casey and I this morning in a lesson that we attended from, our fortified family. And it is, resentment comes from expectations not met, from boundaries we wish we had set.
Mm.
So I think that, you guys eventually we're going to, and I'm not going to go too far into this, but we will be talking about boundaries soon and the lack thereof, and then having those boundaries. But, it is okay. I want to say it is okay to set boundaries. That is perfectly fine. And just remind yourself, it's okay to set boundaries. And I'm going to go ahead and read the next one that we have today. And it says, I acknowledge all the gifts that God has given me. He has placed me here on earth for many great things to accomplish.
Mm. So good.
That
That
one's
was
got me
so
teasing, like
I
smiling.
know, like I'm sitting up here, I had to like get still for a moment and like, oh my gosh, yeah, that was so good. Like he placed us here on earth. He placed us here on earth, you guys. Okay, I'm sorry, Amanda. Like, go ahead.
No, he did. And that just kind of ties into, like, you are the only and there are many great gifts that God has given all of us. It says it in scripture, and I wish I had it pulled up, but I don't. But that God has given out gifts to all of us. And you guys, I have found too that, like, so many times your gift or your calling can be in that place that you're scared to step out of. So, just affirm that truth over yourself too. Acknowledge the gifts that God has given you, that He has placed you here for many great things, that you're going to accomplish many great things.
Yes, and you can. So if you feel like you can't, that's that fear. But you can. He put you here on earth for a reason. And it makes me think about, Amanda, how me and you like send pictures of like the sunrise or the sunset, or like of different things you may see, you guys, because me and Amanda always are sending pictures back and forth. Like it could be a tree and the sun is shining just right through it. And it just makes you think about how beautiful your surroundings are, and he created that. So if he created that, and then he created us, he put us here on earth to like accomplish so many good things, you guys. So I love that. And that's one affirmation that I would definitely be putting on a mirror or on my visor in my car, because that one was really good. That one was really good.
It is.
um
It's beautiful.
it really is. And I'm going to read the last one. It says, my spirit is filled with love and compassion. I shine my spirit and light on those around me. So
I
good.
love that.
Me too.
I love that. We hear so often, let your light shine. Let your light shine. And I think that, it's like when you understand what that really means, that you have this light that you can shine on people around you, it's incredible. Like you can make such a difference in not only your own life by affirming these truths, but you can affirm truths over other people as well. And you can let your light shine on those people too.
Yes. And I think that something that Amanda and I talked about earlier today, God really does put certain people in your path for a reason,
Yes.
and it's like, Amanda has helped me through so many things in my life that I think about. Oh, especially over like the last year and a half or 2 years, she's helped me on so many different areas in my life. And I told her this morning, I said, when we were talking about our little meeting that we attend every morning with our prayer group, it was something that she was reading back. And I was like, this is just so cool that we can read back to each other and have our notes that we took during that morning meeting, with our prayer group. And it's like, I'm so thankful for the people he has placed in my life. And it just makes us think about that. Like, our light can shine on others. It can.
That's right. That is right. And I would encourage everyone listening, let your light shine, because the impact that it's having on people around you is incredible. And I would just want to say about the affirmations too, like you guys, the affirmations can be so much more than just these five that Casey and I have given you. Affirmations, they help prevent negative self-talk, because we don't want to be talking to ourselves and about ourselves any kind of way. And something that is also said over and over in the lesson that Casey and I attend with our family is, you're going to have what you say. And that's why that scripture that we gave you guys was so important, because we don't want to be, speaking negativity over ourselves. And so many times throughout our minds, or throughout our day, our minds, they make us wonder. And those thoughts and those things we say about ourselves can drag us down. We can say the bad things about ourselves and other people and just about everything without even realizing it. So I would encourage you to just pay attention to your words. And this is something that I have thought before, and then I'm going to hand the mic back over to you, Casey. But it was, I was talking to a very, very close friend of mine, and she was saying just really ugly things about herself. And I was like, no, I had to tell her right then. I was like, please don't say those things about yourself, because you wouldn't say them to me, so you wouldn't say them to me or about me. So why would you say those things about yourself? And so affirmations can look different, for everybody. A simple affirmation of I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
And I would encourage you guys that if there is a specific area where you're needing to affirm, of course, you're going to always have to, look inside and even pray to God and ask him to show you those things, but start speaking that truth over yourself. And don't be so self-critical, love on yourself enough to speak that life over yourself.
I agree with that. And I loved all that you just said. You know, it's not just these five that we have said today. There was so many that, we were like, we could have put up there or went over. That was just a few. But like Amanda said, even if it's, I'm beautiful, I know that one that I always say, like, I am healed, I'm forgiven, you know, you you can speak that onto yourself and speak life into your spirit and fill your spirit with that happiness, that love, that kindness. Because you guys, our spirit, I mean, that's a big thing. We have a beautiful spirit inside of us. And, I always feel like if I speak so negatively about certain things in my life, I feel my whole spirit just, I feel like it's just so sad or weighed down. And I feel like people can feel it at work or wherever I go. And I'm like, no, like I can't stand that. So I have to try to continue just to speak life and, speak that amazing word on my spirit.
Yeah, because that is what's true, Casey.
Yeah.
It's affirming the truth and not letting those lies settle in. And I love what you said about sticky notes. So here's the thing, like I think I kind of know where you were going with that. So I hope I don't steal too much of what you wanted to say about the sticky notes. But just in I was in like this women's Bible study, and this one of my leaders, and she's so sweet. I'm just so thankful for her. But she had given us sticky notes, and we could write down all of these different scriptures. You can do that with these affirmations and these truths. And I've done this. I remember I worked at this place one time, and I would go around and put sticky notes everywhere where people would say, like, you are loved, you're beautiful, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And definitely, what were you finish saying what you were going to say about the sticky notes first? Because I think that that was such a good idea, Casey. Like, I need
Yeah.
to go get
Like,
me some sticky notes.
yeah, girl. Like, I just, I have a couple and, I put them in my journal. I have put them on my visor before. I have put them on my mirror, whether it's in the bathroom, in my bedroom, wherever. And I just would place like things on there, I'm loved, I'm healed. Today will be a good day. I'm expecting many amazing things today. There will be good news today. Just whatever it was, Um, that I want to speak into existence, I would put that, on my sticky notes.
Yeah,
So,
so
guys,
good.
yeah, I definitely recommend it. If you guys have a journal, you always hear me and Amanda talk about journaling. Write things in the top of your journal. Sometimes I've put them on every page just before I even like placed everything I wanted on my page. I would write something, positive up there because we do have, you know, power in our tongue to put out what we want in the atmosphere on earth. It just
Yes.
goes back to where I think about how we sometimes say in our morning meetings about like seeds being planted. Put those good seeds out there, you guys, and just put out there, today will be a good day. Today I will have that miracle come through.
That's right.
you know
Yes. And affirm that truth. Like, you guys, I mean, I think that it's so important, like getting a grasp on our words and the impacts they really do have on our life. Like, if you think about it, with a horse, how do we guide them? We bridle their tongue. Okay, so
yeah.
we can completely, change where that horse is going by a bit that's put in their mouth. So really look at, what you're speaking over yourself, your life, your circumstances, and start to speak those affirming truths of life over them, and even over others too. But the sticky note thing really got me, because I was just thinking, like, okay, I definitely need a new sticky note so I can start putting mine back up. I used to have them all around my mirror, and they've eventually like lost their, stickiness over time, but I'll find one randomly laying on the floor every once in a while. It still gives me hope. And I was just thinking, like, if you had that sticky note and you're out in public, you could write something encouraging and stick it somewhere too, like I was saying earlier, where people are going to see it, because you have no idea what that one piece of encouragement, or, that affirming truth that person might need. I like to do things like that. I'm like the mom that will go out to the park, and if I have chalk, I'll write something encouraging for someone to
That's
find
so
later.
sweet.
It's so random, but like, even this pavilion before, like, I people had written really ugly things, like, at the top of the pavilion. It had been vandalized, but I had found some chalk in my little minivan, and I just went out there and I wrote stuff, and it was up there for over a year, y'all, like positive things. And
That's so awesome.
It really was. So, I mean, I guess I took place in the vandalism too, but it was at least, speaking life over it.
Right? Like,
So,
okay, you guys, y'all gonna have a good day today.
yeah, when y'all up here, y'all read this, okay? So it's fine.
That is so funny, man. But
I'm
no,
gonna have to
like,
go back and see if it's still there now because it's been over a year since I've done that.
oh my God, that is so funny though. But no, you're right. Like, put that out there, you guys. Just the smallest thing, or that may look super small to somebody else is really big to somebody else. So that is just, you guys, you just never know. So when we decided to do this topic, I was like, we're gonna affirm some stuff over our lives today,
Yes,
and just
girl.
put it out there and plant those seeds. And we just, you guys, we love this episode. We hope that you guys enjoyed it. We always enjoy spending time with you guys. I just cannot say that enough. And I know Amanda she feels the same way. Like, we just enjoy this so much, you guys. And we're just so thankful to be able to have this time and spend this time with you all. And we hope that you guys have such a awesome, awesome day and touch somebody's life today.
Yes,
Tell them to have a good day. Tell them that, hey, that thing that they've been worried about, it's been taken care of. That sadness, it's not going to be there anymore. They will prosper. That business, it will prosper. Speak life into people's lives today and let your spirit shine through.
absolutely. It's in total agreement. You guys stay blessed. Affirm these truths over yourself. Affirm other beautiful truths over yourself. And you will see that good fruit start sprouting when you start speaking that life over yourself and over others. And I just encourage you guys to stay tuned for the episodes that are to come. We've got some really great stuff planned, and we love y'all so much. We always tell you guys, like, to, if you have those prayer requests, comments, concerns, you can send those over to the email link in the podcast description, and you'll be well prayed over, and we'll get back to you.
Yes, for sure. And you guys, if you have not heard any of our latest episodes, please go back and listen to them and feel free to share.
Yes,
We're always wanting, it to be shared, and it could touch somebody. So yeah, feel free to share it. And we love you guys so much. Y'all have an awesome, awesome day, and we'll see you guys next week.
love y'all.
Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.